What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm here at McGrath Volvo, Fort Myers, Florida, checking out this brand new 2022 Volvo S90, the flagship, the luxury sedan from Volvo that I think been flying under the radar. A lot of people don't know about it. So today I'm going to take you on a tour of it. We're going to check it out from the exterior, interior, jump inside of it, play with some cool and interesting features, obviously pop the hood up and see what hides underneath it at the end of this video. I'm going to take you for a spin in it. Guys, before we go, check out the rest of my channel. Consider subscribing. I really want to reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I know it's a tall order. We're at 4,100 subscribers right now, but I know with your help I can do that. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right here somewhere down below. Give me a like, give me a hands up, and let's get back to this video. Well, check it out guys, the S90 has been around for a while. As a matter of fact, it was first introduced in 2017, replacing the very popular S80. And then firstly, it was available in two wheelbases, a short wheelbase and a long wheelbase. And the long wheelbase originally was developed for the Chinese market to be used as a chauffeured vehicle. So it is a luxury sedan, one of the few remaining. Now a lot of manufacturers switching to the SUVs only, and they're dropping sedans like crazy, but this one is strong. I can't believe it took me all these years to first time looking at it. And I gotta tell you, I've done an E-Class just a few days ago. I filmed one, and I love Mercedes, but this has a lot of super cool features. I can't wait to show it to you. We're gonna start right in the beginning, right in front of this vehicle. I like the hood. The hood is long. It is fairly plain, but it does have those two creases on both sides. They create this kind of a tunnel for better aerodynamics, I think. And then it all comes together in this grille. Now this is the Inscription Package, so you're gonna see a lot of bright chrome accents, and that encompasses this grille right here. You can also see those vertical slots, and then there have chrome accents right on the inside. What's very interesting, I just learned that today, there's an arrow in Volvo logo, right? That serves a purpose. That actually points out to the direction of where the actual hood latch is. So if you're trying to open the hood, you're not sure whether it's on this side or that side, look at the Volvo logo. It's going to point you in the right direction, which is pretty cool. Also, behind this, there is where a lot of the radar technology hides, and that alongside with the camera system, which is up in the front windshield, creates this super safety system that keeps you safe on the road. It has all of the standard features. We're going to mention some of that while going over the instrument cluster and the panel inside of this vehicle. Also, I want to point out it does have this front view camera, which is right in this Volvo logo, and then this crystal white color that this one is dressed in. This is an optional color, about $695 or so, but it looks beautiful. It's got some of this metal flakes in it, which is really nice. Well, let's take a look at the lights. Okay, the lights, we've seen those lights at so many different Volvo models that have this very characteristic, specific Thor hammer light design, and then there are daytime running lights, which are white when you're driving it, and when you try to turn on this turn signal, they turn amber, so indicate that you're turning fully LED lights. It has the active high beams, which, you know, the high beams go on automatically if you're driving at night, and it car doesn't detect any vehicles coming from the opposite direction, so you're not blinding them. It also has the fog lights right here, and the fog lights are active fog lights as well, so they illuminate the corners as you turn for better visibility, and one of the few remaining vehicles with the headlight washing system. So it does have the high pressure washing systems for the headlights. Now you can see there's a bunch of different sensors, obviously the parking sensors, then has this chrome trim at the bottom, and then again the crystal white lip spoiler right in the front of here. Now there is no air curtains or anything like this, but it's very nice, very modern, and very plain, yet very elegant design. Let's see what powers up this S90. First of all, I love how the hood opens. Okay, it does have those hood struts on both sides. They hold them nice and high. It does have some sound insulation on the hood itself, but what I want to point out, you see those notches on the hood right around the top off here, right? So if you look at them, okay, see all of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's several of them. They basically are, this is the way that the hood is going to fold in case of an accident. So they thought about everything. This is just not a random hood fold in case of an accident. They really designed it to minimize the impact on the driver on this vehicle. So let's see what sits inside of this engine compartment. You can see this nice engine cover, again, that helps with the noise insulation. You get the Volvo written right on top of it. 2-liter engine, turbocharged, 295 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and this powertrain delivers power to all 4 wheels. It is an all-wheel drive, which is standard on the S90. Okay, this is definitely a timeless design. As far as the side view of this vehicle, it's very elegant, it's very stately, it's very proper, if you will. So let's take a look at it. It's all white, right? So there's no cladding around the wheels. Now the wheel wells are kind of accentuated with this creases right on top of here, and that looks very nice. And then you'll see some of the chrome accents, like one at the very bottom of the doors, and then also around the windows right here, because this is an Inscription Package, so this is the most luxurious one. Now, as far as the wheels, it comes standard with the 19-inch wheels. This particular one has been upgraded to a 20-inch wheels, and I like the two-tone design. It's kind of black and this machine-finished aluminum on top of it. And, you know, as far as the tires, let's take a look at the size of the tires. It has 255 by 35 and the 20-inch rim, so they're low-profile tires, so we'll see how it's going to drive. One other thing that I want to point out in here, a lot of cars are equipped with, they call the smart entry system, where you actually don't have to have push the buttons on the remote. This one is as well. There's one difference though. Now you see most of the vehicles are only equipped with that on the front doors, but because this vehicle has been designed with the driver and the passenger in mind, it has the smart entry system on all 4 doors. So let's say, you know, I go up in the rear door and I have the key on me, right? All I do is I put my hand inside of the door handle. It's gonna unlock the doors. Like you can see the mirror unfolded, and speaking about the mirror, nice, the same color as the rest of the vehicle. It has the blind spot assist, has the turn signal in it. It is a foldable mirror. So in my book, this is a fully loaded mirror as well. Now the rear doors are pretty nice size too, because there's tons of room, and I can't wait to show it to you. But before we do that, we're gonna move on to the back and check out the size of the trunk. Guys, we're gonna take a look at the rear of this vehicle. Now the lights are on because the vehicle is open. I just came close to it and then pressed the button. Now when I turn it off, look how they dim out. That's a pretty cool feature. Again, if you open the vehicle, it blinks, and then the lights stay on. Fully LED lights, very visible, very cool design, kind of mimicking the big hockey stick design, but without that top portion of it that kind of bends over into the trunk, if you will. Now the trunk size, like this part right here, it's pretty short, but it looks pretty deep, and there's a lot of room I can see behind the seat, so I can't wait to show it to you. Before we do that, let's take a look at this design of this vehicle. So third brake light right here. We already talked about the lights. S90 Volvo, nicely spelled out in here. Love the color of it. Then of course you have a bunch of sensors in the back. Again, the safety technology for the parking sensors. No visible exhaust, but there is this chrome trim right at the bottom of the bumper, and you can open the trunk several different ways. One of them would be on the remote, the other one is from the inside of the vehicle, or you can do it the old-fashioned way, basically just pulling on the handle. There's also a rear view camera which is located pretty low in here, so we'll see about the visibility on it once we're inside of the car. So let's open this up. It's a power trunk. You can find that in many of the luxury sedans. But before we do that, let's go right on top of here. So you can see there's two buttons, one of them to close the hood, one of them to close and lock it. You can see this, I'm not sure if you can, but there's this fluorescent handle right underneath here, and that's basically in case you get locked inside of the trunk, I guess from the mob years, then you can basically pull on it to release the trunk and open it up for you. So take a look how deep it is. It is pretty deep. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of room in here, so taller items would probably not fit in, but if you have like suitcases and stuff, there's definitely lots of room for that. Now the floor mats on this vehicle are here, 12-volt power outlet in the back, and then right underneath the floor here you have this temporary use spare tire and the tools to remove it with. So nothing too crazy about it, but it's a nice size boot. Well guys, so there's a reason why I'm sitting in the passenger seat, and that's because this vehicle originally was developed as a chauffeured vehicle type of deal. So there's a lot of focus on the rear passenger, and the rear passenger obviously can have more room in this passenger seat because you can move that forward if you'd like to and have a lot of room. But anyways, I have both of the seats, as you can see, adjusted to the same position, and that's normally how I would drive. And see how much room I'll have in front of my knees. They're literally about 7 inches or more in front of my knees before I would hit the rear door. So definitely this one has tons of room. Now I wish those seats would recline or do something crazy because there's room for it, but they don't. Nevertheless, one of the most rooms that I've seen in any of the mid-size sedans that I sat in, more than Mercedes-Benz, more than BMW, as far as the E-Class or the 5 Series, or more than the Audi A6, definitely more than the GV or G80 as far as the Genesis, and that's basically the direct competition as we established earlier. Now the interior itself, it's very nice, it's very luxurious. So let me grab the camera, I'll show it to you. Check it out guys, we're going to start right on the door panel, and I purposely chose the passenger side door, rear door, because it's got more features than you normally find on any other car. So you can see, first of all, the color of it. It's got this beige leather inlay right inside of here, and that's nicely wrapped with real leather. Now it also has some of this darker color material right on top of it. This is like the soft vinyl. It does have the contrast stitching. I want to point out to you this wood trim, absolutely beautiful. It looks like a natural wood. It's not lacquered, it's not shiny, it's in its natural state, which looks absolutely amazing. And you have this aluminum trim underneath it, so very luxurious, very classy. But what I want to point out as well, look how many controls you have. So there is a shade control, okay, and we're going to take a look at what that does. And then you have shade controls on the windows. So check it out. It does have this sunshade, okay, power goes down, okay, goes up, and then you control the windows from here, of course. It's an automatic one-touch operation, and this button right here, we've seen it on some high-end luxury sedans, and that controls this sunshade right in the back. I hope you can see it right there. Okay, I'm pulling it up. All right, there you go. So that makes you feel more comfortable inside in case there's a lot of sunshine coming through. So what do we have? Take a look at this. What we have is the controls for the sunshade in the back, for your windows in the back. Then you have controls for the sunroof. So you can control the sunroof from here, and then you can also adjust the seat in front. So you can move the front seat forward right here in case you needed more room because you wanted to stretch a little bit. And then what else we have here? We have an ashtray. I didn't know people still smoke. But so tons of room in here, as you can see. The floor is black. The seats are nicely contoured. So for 2 people in the back, this is very comfortable. The third person, you know, this is kind of like most of the sedans. This seat is not very comfortable for 2 reasons. First of all, it's not contoured. And second of all, you have this bump right in the middle here. But, you know, it serves as a good armrest. And it does have its own cup holders as well. So Nice feature, it does have a pass-through right there in case you wanted to have skis or something like this that you're carrying with you. So well, you don't see the console in the back seat in very many mid-size luxury sedans. Well, you have one here. So first of all, what you have is right at the bottom here, you can see you have your regular 12-volt outlet, then 2 USB-C ports, and if you don't want to look at it, you can close it. Then you have 2 vents right here and your climate control settings. Okay, so you can actually control the fan speeds, you can control the seat heaters, etc. from inside of here, which is pretty cool. And then you have the, well, cargo nets in the backs of the seats. Not a huge deal, but they're there. Now the backs of the seats are plastic, but they're soft plastic too. So they even thought about that. That makes it for the more luxurious feel. And I know it's probably easier to look at it from here. This nice panoramic sunroof, which by the way, I can open from sitting in the back seat. Let me show it to you. Open the sunroof right there, all from the back seat. It's incredible, right? Well, check it out, guys. I'm going to show you a few features on the inside. Before we do that, let's see the quality of the vehicle. We're going to measure it by closing the door. Boom! That's a nice and solid thumb, a heavy door. By the way, look at the door handles. Chrome, white, you know, these are the indentations for, you know, signifying that it does have the smart entry system. But also I want to point out that these actually are illuminated door handles. You can't see them because we're in full sun right now. Quickly on the door panel, we can see it does have the Harman Kardon stereo, so it's branded in the front. 2 memory seat settings, then you have the lock and unlock and all the window mirror controls. Of course, the theme of the door, same as the back of it, which is pretty cool. One thing I want to point out, once you look at this interior of this vehicle, first of all, you have a Volvo on this door sill, but look at the seats, how nicely profiled it is, how nice it looks. It has some of that contrast stitching on the sides. It is perforated in the middle because it is heated and ventilated, so that's a standard equipment. But look at the position of the seat. It has so many different controls as far as adjusting the seat, and it's not only in the driver, but it's on passenger side also. Okay, so front, back, of course, then the rear portion, then you can extend. How do you extend this portion right here? I'm not sure. I'd have to figure it out, but this is nice. You can actually adjust your knee rest over here, and that makes a whole lot of difference. Let's check out how the rest of the interior looks. Well, 2022 Volvo S90 Inscription Package. Let's check out the interior of it. Take a look at this. It does have leather wrapped top dashboard right here. It does have the same wood trim. This is not a wood looking trim, this is an actual wood inlays. Very nice, very natural looking. It does have a couple displays in here. It also has this big Harman Kardon speaker, and as you can see, this indent right here that does have basically the head-up display, which is really nice. We're going to take a look at it once I turn on this vehicle. Now the vehicle is off, and the way you turn it on is like we've seen in some of the other Volvos. Basically turn the engine on, you can barely hear it. You can hear just a little bit of vibration, and that chime right there is, hey, you don't have your seat belts on. So I'm going to turn that off, mute the radio so you don't have to get distracted with it. And then basically I'm going to show it to you of what all of these buttons do. Well, maybe not all, but most of them. So take a look at the steering wheel. It's nice to the touch, definitely not sporty, but it is on more of the luxurious side. So it is leather wrapped, but it's kind of a different leather wrap. See, this steering wheel kind of consists like of 2 different pieces, which, you know, some people might like, some people might not. Now what I would probably change, and yes, I know it looks very classy when you have this shiny black, but look how many fingerprints it leaves. So that's like a fingerprint magnet, but that's, you know, so far this is the only complaint about this vehicle. I have one more I'll show you later. So on this side right here, you can basically adjust your cruise control, the distance between you and the car in front of you. That does have this adaptive cruise control. It does have this autonomous driving mode, or the assisted driving mode, I'd say, but we're not going to check that out today. And it does have this Volvo logo on the side. On the right hand side, you basically have different features that you can change in the instrument cluster, and then these are the select and point buttons right there. So we're going to check that out right now. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at this instrument cluster right now. Before we do that, before I forget, let's take a look. Can you see this head-up display? Basically what I can see it right now, it's just the speed, but you can also put in there like the speed limit signs, and you know, it's going to turn different color when you exceed the speed limit. But let's take a look at this instrument cluster and see what's inside of it. So the standard one, this is basically a standard instrument cluster. On the left hand side you have a speedometer, you also have the digital readout of the speed. Right hand side you have a tachometer, and in the middle of it you have your gear indicator. So when you hit this menu button right here, you can put in your navigation in front of it, which is pretty cool. Now come on, is this the only thing that we can do? Click to reset TM, click again to confirm. So we'll reset the trip meter, and that's it. So actually those are the only two things that you can see in front of here. This is the 12.3 inch display. It's right in front of you, it's there. And then we're going to move on to a little bit smaller display. So this is the 9-inch display. Okay, and this would be my second complaint about this vehicle. Now it's super luxurious. It's got tons of features, you know, safety and look-wise and space-wise and all that stuff. But it does have this tiny display right here, which I think it should be bigger. Okay, but you know, this is one of the systems that we've seen already, and actually Volvo teamed up with Google, and Google developed this. It's Google Automotive, so it's not like and basically just a regular Android, although it is Android based. So this is your main menu. This is what the main screen looks like. So you can see maps, then you can change the radio stations, then you can connect your phone, and you can see the car status, and that basically tells you, hey, your maintenance is due in, you know, so many days. So go back to the main screen, check out the maps. The maps are nice, visible. For those of you who use Android, you're going to like it because that's basically almost the exact same thing as you can see on your phone, or very similar to it, I should say. Now, for those of you that are Apple users, yeah, well, that might be coming soon, but it's not fully integrated. Like, you don't have the Apple CarPlay with this vehicle. So let's go back. Let's see other settings. So you can hit this little icon right down below, and then opens up this screen, and then basically you can have maps, Bluetooth media player. So it kind of goes in detail of what's going on in that main screen. And then you have your settings button, and then you can hit this right there, and then it opens up your climate control screen. So you have your climate control screen, and that's a nice visual representation of what's going on there. So you can basically select your fan speed, temperature, you can sync it, unsync it. This is, by the way, this is like a 4-zone climate control. I didn't tell you that, but it's got 2 zones in the front for driver and passenger. It's got 2 zones in the back for driver and passenger. So 4-zone climate control. This is pretty sick. You don't find that too often in vehicles. Now, hit this button right here, and you can opens up the seat controls. So right now I have the ventilated seat going, and then you can have a heated seat and a heated steering wheel, and on the passenger you can have a heated and ventilated seat as well, and the back seats are heated too. So that's a pretty cool feature as well. So that's your climate control basically, and we can go back to the main screen, which is this button right here. So if you get lost, hit this button, it's going to take you to the main screen. And we can go to settings and check out what's going on in here. So you can see that you can adjust the driving settings, then you can optimize the sound, which is pretty cool, front, rear, driver, or all. And then profiles, you can set up your own profile, so the car's going to adjust to your profile basically. System, okay, so that's just the basic information. Units, depending on where you at. So that's what you have in this instrument cluster. Now that's pretty cool. One other thing here, I'm going to try to adjust the seat right now. All right, so seat controls, it turns on the seat controls. As you can see, this is the different zones that you can adjust. So I was wondering what to adjust as far as this right here. And basically you can see, okay, that I can move it forward and back, but in order to get to it, you actually have to get to this screen and adjust it, you know, the way that you like it. And there's several different ways. So bolsters, lumbar, and the bottom portion. So that's where you adjust it. Okay, so it does have the 360 camera, which is really nice, right? Because it has it on the full screen. You can see the car, you know, there's actually the actual surroundings of the vehicle. But when you're going to put it in reverse, so I'm going to put this vehicle in reverse. See, that goes. The top stays the same, and this is I guess for the parking sensors, etc. But the back, it only takes up half of the screen. Why not make it bigger? It does have the trajectory line. The quality of the camera is really nice, although it does have, see, the camera is located right above the license plate bracket, and it catches up a little bit of the license plate, so I wish that was removed, and have the full screen. That would be really nice. Now you also have the button for 360, and then of course takes you to the 360 mode, and you hit that, you can see the front view camera, and then go back to 360, you can see the side cameras, etc. So you know the drill. And as far as the settings, okay, let's see, maybe we can adjust it here. The wheel guidelines and the volume, those are the only two things that we can actually adjust in here. So I'm going to put it back in park. The shortcuts for a lot of different features of this vehicle, and then you have your crystal gear shifter. So in order to put it in reverse, you have to do kind of a double tap on well, first of all, this is park, right? So we're parked right now. Push the brake pedal, push it twice to put it in reverse. Okay, that's gonna take it to the reverse mode. Okay, neutral, and then drive twice towards the front, back to parking, and then you have the engine start stop. That's how you start the engine. And then you have the electronic parking brake, and then you can turn off that automatic engine on and off system that you have. Now you have the cup holders right here. You also have the wireless charging, and then down below here you have the regular cigarette lighter style charger that only closes to here. And then you have a little bit more storage right underneath here, the USB-C ports, 2 of them. So this is it. We're not going to go through the full top panel right there, because the only thing you have is basically you have your LED lights, and then you have your sunroof control. So that's pretty cool. You also have the SOS and an on-call. Now there's a subscription for that, and Volvo gives you a 4-year subscription to an app that lets you control the vehicle, so like starting the vehicle remotely from your phone app. So that's 4 years complimentary, and the SOS, the assistance, that's 10 years complimentary. So that is a pretty cool information. Now as far as another cool feature, you also get the 3 years of maintenance when you buy Volvo right now. So let's take it for a spin. Check it out, guys. The vehicle is running. It's really quiet. You can barely hear that, and it's not a hybrid. It's a regular turbocharged engine. Now it does have, you know, this mild hybrid system, so it's got this electrical assist to help out with drawing off the power. So all these electrical systems, all these electronics, they don't draw power from this vehicle. Anyways, before we take it on the quick spin, let's see what's available as far as the 2022 Volvo. So I'm on Volvo's website right now, and it says the S90 starts at $53,895 and starts with the Momentum trim. Now the Inscription, they call it the Refined and Exclusive, and that starts at $56,995. And then if you wanted to have this dynamic and stylish, it would be the R Design. That's basically the same price, $56,995 on both of them. Now the difference would be the Inscription would have a lot more of the chrome accents, more luxurious ones, and the R Design would basically have a lot of blacked out trims and more sporty characteristics, if you will. Now there's only one powertrain that's available on the non-hybrid version of the S90, and that's the B6 all-wheel drive, which is basically the one we're sitting in right now, and that takes you 0 to 60 in about 6.2 seconds. You know, like I said, that does give you about 295 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. So that's as far as the performance. It is an all-wheel drivetrain, so it takes the power to all 4 wheels. However, you know, from what I read, it's got more of the rear-wheel drive vehicle characteristics than the front-wheel drive, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to take it on the road right now, and we're going to check out some of this driving characteristics of this vehicle. Like I said before, it feels really nice and quiet. That's definitely one of the things that you notice right away when you get into this vehicle. I'm going to see if I have enough room somewhere to turn this vehicle fully around, just to kind of see the turning radius. Keep in mind, this vehicle is 200 inches long. That's about as long as a mid-size SUV. So let's turn this wheel all the way, and this is kind of the dead-end road right here. So we're gonna go on the grass, and do we make it? Yes, we made it. Actually, I'm surprised. I didn't think we were going to, because like I said, it is pretty long, but turning radius is decent. Now, do we have any driving modes in here? That's another feature that I didn't see. Like, it's not displayed like on a lot of other vehicles. You have the sport driving mode, or dynamic, and comfort, and eco. And there we go. Now we can go in. Let's speed it up a little bit. So like I mentioned before, a couple days ago, I filmed a Mercedes E-Class, and I really like that. I mean, I gotta just keep in mind that that vehicle is about 6.10 to 60. This is about 6.20 to 60. This particular one's got about 40 horsepower more, so definitely a different driving dynamics, different characteristics between the two. But they're very similar in a way. They both compete in the same class. They're both were priced, like this one's priced at about $61,000 equipped. The other one was like within a few $100, was $61,300 or so. So they're going almost head to head. So there's definitely a certain advantages of the Mercedes. I think the driving dynamics are just a little bit better, and you know, it's got the quicker pickup and a more responsive engine. Also does have its own 9-speed automatic transmission versus 8-speed automatic transmission. And here, same size engine, both 2.0 liter, both turbocharged. Like I said, they're different of output and horsepower. This one on paper has got more, but because of the size of this vehicle, I believe it is a heavier one as well, and you can definitely feel that. Now, that's not saying that it's bad. It's very nice, but the other one's got a little bit more of a sportier feel to it. With that said, the Mercedes didn't have nearly as much room in the back as this one has. It would have the optional leather. Well, this is standard. It didn't have the heated seats. You'd have to add that. I mean, the ventilated seats, you'd have to add that on. This is standard on this vehicle as well. So it would have definitely be a lot more expensive if you were like feature by feature. So definitely Mercedes would probably win as far as the driving performance. This would win as the feature packed, and probably comfort as well. Definitely feels roomier, definitely, especially in the back. It does have tons of room, and it feels more of a limo type vehicle. So if you like that kind of thing, that might be your choice. But definitely it packs a lot of value for the money that you're spending on it. Oh, by the way, this is all-wheel drive too. With Mercedes, you'd have to spend another $2,500 to get an all-wheel drive, to get a 4MATIC on it. So definitely, if you were feature by feature, this is 61. The other one would have been probably about $70,000, $71,000. So probably about $10,000 difference, even though they both say that they start at about $54,000, $55,000 on paper. You kind of have to go feature by feature comparison. What else I like about this? The visibility. I mean, the visibility is great. The mirrors are kind of on the small side, I would say. I'd probably like to see them just a tiny bit bigger to, you know, have a little bit more view in here. And maybe, you know, like a lot of vehicles right now, especially in this class, I mean, they already have all this technology. What's one more thing? The blind spot assist. We've seen that in the Genesis vehicles, where you turn on the turn signals and turns on that blind spot monitor, so you want to make sure that there's nothing in there. Yes, this one has it in the mirror, where it basically just shows you the light comes on if there's somebody in your blind spot, but it would be so much nicer not to even have to take your eyes off the road and look and see what's in there. But overall, a very, very nice, very impressive vehicle. Like I said, it has been flying under the radar for a long time, I think. You know, it's really, it has been undercover if you will, because a lot of people are buying those 5 Series BMWs or the Mercedes-Benz E-Classes, but you haven't seen that many on the road, and for 2 reasons. Well, A, it has been a well-kept secret, I guess, by Volvo, which I'm not sure why, but also they haven't produced that many of them. Well, if you're in the Fort Myers area, Volvo Cars of Fort Myers has this one right now. At the time of this filming, it is for sale. But I can tell you guys, you gotta check out their website. I'm gonna put it in the link of the description of this video, because in addition to all the cool new Volvos that they have a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles. So just to give you an idea, they have a new C8 Corvette right now. They have the new Ford Bronco right now. They have the new Rubicon 392, and that's just a few to name. A few Teslas I've seen on the lots. It's crazy. I mean, they do have some really neat and cool stuff. So check out their link in the description below. Plus, they're a good group of people. They always let me film their vehicles, which is very nice of them. Well, coming back to this vehicle, to sum it all up, it's a very nice, very solid luxury sedan. And definitely there's tons of room in the back, a lot of focus on the passenger. Okay, let's hit it one more time. Okay, nice. We're at 60, so I maybe just don't feel as fast, but definitely 6.1, 6.2 between the 2 vehicles. It's a very negligible difference. So both of them are pretty cool. Very solid vehicle. I like it. I gotta tell you, I'll give it definitely a thumbs up on this vehicle. I like it. I hope you liked it too. I hope you liked this video, and I hope I brought a little bit of value into your life today. And if I did, check out the rest of my channel. Like I said before, help me get to the 10,000 subscriber mark by the end of this year. I know it's still 6,000 subscribers. I know we can do it. I know you can help me, and I know you will. So hit that subscribe button, give me the like. Until then, I will see you in my next video. Cheers.